Hey, this is Steven from Pablo War Gaming, coming to you today to talk about 10th edition and probably even talk about just Warhammer Fest in general. Why not, right? So let's start with what everybody really wants to know about and what did I get to do with 10th edition and what did I think of 10th edition. So, the lucky part, I didn't have to stand 3 hours in line to get to play. I got to stand 10 minutes in line and then I got to fill a spot when they only had one. So, lucky me. So then we played. We played pretty quick. And the game to me seemed like Warhammer 40k, honestly. What I found is that, in shooting, things died, it seemed about the same. I didn't see any real big differences. There was less AP. Damage was the same. Strength and toughness seemed comparable and didn't really seem, at least in one game, right? Didn't seem to make a difference. For example, we shot a screamer, las cannons, and the screamer died pretty much right away. So, because then we had one health left, and we hit it with some couple more shots, and it went down and win. And then we had a situation where a screamer got charged by 10 Space Marines, and even though the screamer had 10 attacks, hitting on 3s and wounding on 2s, it still took 3 turns to kill all the Space Marines. So in that regard, melee seemed less effective. So that was interesting. At least based on what we experienced, the charges were a little different. Before, like right now, if you, let's say you're 9 inches away from, what you want to charge, you need to roll an 8 or a 9 or higher, right? And what they're saying is now you need to end your charges base to base. So now 9-inch charges are 9-inch charges. Try to get further, get better answers on other details, but they said they didn't have the rule book with them, so they weren't able to reliably answer those questions. So sadly, any kind of details that go beyond the basic game that we played, we don't really have solid answers on. So I don't really want to go into detail on things that I can't reliably give you answers on. But what I could say is that the battle shock that was we got to see was all right. The main thing is that if something is below half strength, or half its wounds, then it takes a battle shock test. If it fails it, then it loses obsect and all those kind of things. And then your next command phase, you try again to rally. So I know that happens. Let's see what else would be really important to know. Well, it seemed like we didn't get any command points to start the game. It seemed like you could ignore battle shock test each turn, which was interesting. So that was there was that. Everything seemed about the same speed. It was the thing that I did remember them saying is that now all Space Marines have 3 attack space. So I'm assuming weapon profiles will change that further if anything, but for the most part it's 3 attacks, even if they have flamers. So that was pretty cool. Flamers were very effective. We saw Gaunts, dying like, or whatever they're called, little guys with the guns, dying like crazy from the flamers. I would definitely say, from what I saw, the box definitely doesn't feel balanced. But if you're a NID player, you're going to get lots of new models. And if you're a Space Marine player, you're going to get a lot of new models. Now, I'll let it be your surprise which army is weaker than the other, for sure. But either way, I think the model range is fantastic. If you want to see good pictures of the model range, check out, you can look at my Instagram where I post a lot of stuff. You can check out the TikTok stuff we got and jump in our Discord. That is a great place because I'm sharing a lot of content that I'm not sharing in the other 2 places there for our followers and our subscribers. So it's a great place to be. Now, moving on from there, I would say that how did the game feel? I had fun. It felt, for me, I play pretty fast games of 40k since I'm a competitive player, but it still felt pretty quick, even with the people having, we had basically 6 people per table, right, learning the game, and having one person who was teaching us the game. And even then, it felt pretty fast-paced overall. It felt weird not having a psychic phase for sure, but there was nothing on the table that had psychic, so it was nothing for us to check out there, sadly. That was something I was really, as someone who has, armies that have psychic abilities, I was really wanting to see how that was now. And the fact that there was no psychers on the table, we didn't get experiences. So that was too bad. So not much there to learn about. What I did find interesting, like for example, the Screamers, the big models that they got now for the NIDS, they don't bracket until they're down to the last 4 health. So it'll be interesting to see how other models bracket the same way. I know the Redemptor, I believe, was the exact same way. So instead of having multiple, brackets, now it seemed to be just one. And on the last 4, so that was cool to see. It makes simpler things to remember, and that's really good. So overall, I would say the experience was positive because they didn't have a rule book with them to answer my questions well. I still not sure how reliable the information I gathered was on the rules, but that's okay. At least gives me an idea. So I would say the game definitely does seem similar. I can't say it feels too simple yet because there was not enough to try out. And I guess we'll have more coming here hopefully real soon, since it's gonna be out right before we know it. So okay, so that's kind of where we're at in that regard. So then let's go and wrap it up. Like, what did I think of Warhammer Fest? My opinion is, if I had to choose one event that I only went to, a year, one event every year, I would do Warhammer Fest. It was truly amazing to see the cosplayers, to see the Golden Demon stuff, the huge painting area, the painting classes, the different video games of 40K that either were in beta or that were available to purchase but brand new, and they were giving you special giveaways if you got the game there. The fact that they were doing little giveaways, like when you were standing in line waiting for 10th edition, they were doing little giveaways and things like that. And the fact that they were selling Horus Heresy stuff and all of that was really nice. It was really cool to see, of course, all the different games being played. So, that was fun too. So when I got to finish up my tournament run, I had a really good time watching games that I normally don't get to see. So that was really, really great. And then, of course, meeting so many people that are, were just generous with their time and friendly and just good people to see. And in many cases, I got to see a lot of people, surprisingly, that I've met at other events. So that was really great, even though we traveled so far. So I would say it was overall an amazing experience. A lot of cool things to see, great people to meet, and a lot of great games were had, at least by me. And I did my best to at least entertain my opponents. And then, of course, I even got to stream one of my games. It was just an overall, for me, an amazing experience. And I think GW did a fantastic job. I would love to see something like this in the US, because I know, even though I really enjoyed LVO, if I had to choose, I would choose this over LVO. So I think there's a lot of things in the US that we can do to make our events even more amazing and fantastic, just like they did here. And I hope that happens. So either way, I really appreciate you coming, hanging out, and listen to my spiel, if you will. And we got more content coming. Tomorrow, I'm going down to Sherwood. I'm going to the GW headquarters. We're going to be getting lots of photos and doing all that. So some more content coming for sure. And then, of course, we've got our streams coming back this week, and so we should have lots of great content for you. So please, like I said, if you're seeing this on Instagram, go check out our YouTube channel, please. And if you're on YouTube, check out our Instagram, okay? And have a great day. Bye-bye.